STI rates skyrocketed, which meant the economy and the health of the nation were at risk, which meant the government finally decided they had to take action, even though Americans were happier than ever, according to the World Happiness Report. Happiness was not good for capitalism, or the patriarchy, or white supremacy, i.e., business as usual. So the government gave a ridiculous amount of money to the National Organization for Marriage, making it the most powerful lobbying group in Washington. They also tripled tax breaks for married couples, gave out loans for weddings and homes at bargain basement rates, and severely restricted access to abortion and egg freezing. Every month, in every capital city in the U.S., there was a government-sponsored blind date event. Rom-coms dominated the box office, and family sitcoms were all you could find on TV. Women nearing the age of 27 were targeted with daily countdown ads that displayed the number of days until they became leftovers. And women nearing 35 got countdown ads until they were rotten. Thanks to the government's efforts, it was clear that people, not only the straights but your basic gays too, were suddenly desperate to get married in a way they hadn't been since the 50s, maybe even more so. Thus why the uncurious cat was crowded with young people hoping to spot their spouse. Ellie had asked me to meet her at the bar because she had big news, and I could only assume it meant that she had finally gotten her boyfriend Kevin to propose, even though they had been together for less than a year, or that they had broken up. I was hoping for the latter. To everyone but Ellie, I called Kevin the enema, an even worse form of douchebag. His parents were hippies, the kind who tended to appropriate from other cultures to show how open they were, and they named him Kayvon, a Persian name, even though they were white and pronounced it just like Kevin. Because of his name, his dark hair, and his tan skin, people sometimes assumed he was Middle Eastern. And when he thought it worked to his advantage, he didn't correct them. He worked in the startup space and created an app for cheaters called Down Low that would hide secret text messages and calls. He claimed he would never use the app himself. He was just filling a gap in the market. He rarely came out because Ellie claimed he always had some networking event, and the rare times he did show up, he'd blab on about his countless projects, dropping names of tech people no one knew. Once, when Ellie was falling over drunk, she told me he never went down on her because he hated getting his face wet. The next time I saw him, I asked him if he took showers or liked to go swimming, and he just looked at me blankly. Despite all of these aforementioned flaws, Kevin seemingly wanted to get married and start a family just as badly as Ellie did. And in this way, they were a good match. Deciding I couldn't delay it any longer, I took a deep breath and pulled open the heavy door to the bar, scanning the faces until I saw Ellie's Polish features. Round cheeks and round blue eyes, hair so blonde it was almost white, and nearly translucent skin to match. She was wearing a billowy white silk blouse and a delicate gold necklace. She looked up and waved, and as she lowered her hand, I saw it. A huge square of diamond hanging off her ring finger, reflecting the tea light on the table. My chest constricted like someone was tightening a screw, and I realized just how much I had been hoping for a breakup. Not because I wanted Ellie to be unhappy, but the opposite. I wanted Ellie to find a guy who wasn't an enema, a guy who wouldn't force me to lie to her about being happy for her engagement. After ordering an old-fashioned and a water, I forced a smile and walked toward Ellie, steeling myself for the coming conversation. "I guess congratulations are in order," I yelled over the din of the bar as I gestured to her hand, then gave her a hug. "Are you so happy?" I said into her coconut-scented hair. "Mostly relieved," Ellie said, pulling out of the hug and sitting down. "I know you think it's ridiculous, but the last few years I've had this frantic feeling, like a buzzing that keeps getting louder and louder until you can't hear anything above it. And it's finally quieted down. The day I get married, it'll be gone for good." She leaned back in her chair, lolling her head and letting her arms hang at her sides, then released a long sigh. She did look more relaxed than I had seen her in ages. I laughed, then shook my head. "That is ridiculous, Ellie." At that point, I had been with my partner, Amy, for 9 years, and we both agreed we wanted nothing to do with marriage, a patriarchal institution that started as a way to reinforce the idea of women as property.